nasty rope in there.
What you gonna do, T?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
19.
There you go. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is private property. This somebody. I'd like to have that camp right on the river.
What? You know. Come on in there. Caravan, T. Caravan.
And the helicopter.
Wait. Michelle's turning the light right here for us. We got an engineer right here behind us.
That works good.
Oh yeah, better. It's like
That thing. That's me, bro. That's the international harvester. No, it's a bird.
Tell us what you got, Chef.
It's a bird.
That's a backstrap right there from Kevin Harmon. I believe he killed that in Kansas.
Hard as shit to battle.
Fast, hot and fast.
No, he didn't change much, no.
Did he change much?
Check him out. Go ahead. Look at the front door.
That's flathead, bitch.
That was before you became a Mr. Front
Dude, that's the backstrap right there. That's the filet mignon of the deer. cold, T.
What's going on in the parking lot, T?
It's cold out here. It's cold out here. Look at that ice in that truck. That truck's iced up. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. Look at that. You have antifreeze in your bike? No, I don't.
What do you mean you don't? You have regular water?
If it's perforated, it has a bladder in there that'll inflate and just basically squeeze the grapes against this perforated side. And it'll go through a series of inflations and deflations and hold that for a couple of minutes, squeeze it out, then deflate, kind of tumble around, break it up.
The thing's
inflate. Yeah, just well, it slowly turns, but only when it's not squeezing. When it's squeezing, then it turns itself with the holes, the perforations pointing downward, and it'll squeeze out the juice, and that'll be collected in some troughs down here, and then I'll pump it to the tank. Now, in the case of red grapes, of course, we're fermenting with the skins to extract the color and tannins and phenols and other components. With white grapes, we'll squeeze it out before we ferment, then pump the juice into a tank and ferment just the juice.
All we're concerned about is Big Daddy.
You want to know where that Big Daddy tank is? Hang on, my brother's trying to find the horse. Yeah.
Fermentation tanks, Steve.
Particular grain of wine yeast.
Anything in there right now?
These are full. Those are one of those has something, I think. Those are all empty, except this one, and these are full. The fermentation will take anywhere from 7 to 20 days. The whites take a little longer because I ferment at colder temperature, slows it down. After that, it goes through a process, basically what we call racking. That's just pumping from one tank to the other. You notice each of these tanks has a valve that's a little bit off the bottom. That's to pump the wine from one tank to another. It leaves the sediment back in there. As the fermentation ends, the yeast cells and other great particulate matter will settle to the bottom. You have basically a mud, and you'll want to kind of clarify the wine by pumping it from one tank to the other. Ultimately, it'll go through filtration. That's what I was doing yesterday. That's filter there, and then I'll do my final filter through an actual cartridge that'll sterilize it. But some of the wine, Merlot and Cabernet and that type of wine, I'll spend some time with these oak barrels like that. Real traditional method of aging some wine.
What about these big ones?
I keep those basically for nostalgic reasons in a way.
Not using them anymore.
Actually, I do use that. That's the one tank I get some of my Big Daddy blend out of. But those are old California redwood tanks. And you got to understand that, back after Prohibition was repealed, there was a lot of those tanks made. There was no such thing as stainless steel back in those days. So all wine storage vessels were either made out of, if they were large ones, they were typically made out of California redwood, or the small barrels are made out of white oak. So that's all that was available back in those days.
Does that make a difference in the taste versus a stainless steel container versus a wooden?
Well, the oak barrels impart quite a bit of character and flavor because of the tannins in them. The red oak is a little bit more inert, except maybe the first time they're used, but they don't have the same amount of tannins and such in the wood as the oak does. So they don't, I guess in a sense, they're just more inert. But the oak definitely adds a lot of different character to it. You can taste that and smell it, and it does a lot. When you age an oak, several things happen. One, it allows what we call a micro-oxidation. The wood is actually a little bit porous, and typically you don't want wine exposed to oxygen, but in some cases, like red wines, if you have a heavy red, a Cabernet or Merlot, it'll actually mellow or soften the wine, get rid of some of the astringency by allowing a little bit of oxygen to seep in through the wood. Also, it extracts some of the tannins from the wood to give it certain structure and character and flavor. So if you ever drink very much of that type of wine, you probably kind of know what I mean. Beyond all that, then ultimately you'll go in here to the bottom line. I actually thought about I might have that running while y'all got here, but you got here a little bit quicker than I could fire it up yesterday afternoon. You guys, this place basically was more or less a homestead of my great-grandparents, and You can imagine if you moved here in the late 1800s,
Hold that for a second.
there's no electricity or anything, so everybody had to have of course they'd build a house and have a smokehouse,
I learned that from your dad.
old hay and dairy barn, and in my ancestors' case, they had to have a wine cellar.
Yeah, they actually had a basketball gymnasium in this barn over here, Lonnie.
Where?
Right over here. He had to play basketball in there. Michael beat Shaq 1-on-1 in that building.
Well, my mom and dad live there now. Great-grandparents. Great-grandparents and grandparents and my mom and dad.
Brandon, you gotta smoke some meat in here,
I
huh?
know. How old is this building here?
I don't know, 1900 or so.
Wow. Oh Lord.
Yeah, still, once a
that
year
out.
I'll mix up some what we call Bavarian sausage. It's venison and pork and smoke it in here.
Yeah. Still using this thing. Yeah. Just check it out,
Check that
man.
out.
The health department wouldn't like this.
Look, here's an old wine grape press or whatever here.
Yeah.
Squeeze out the juice.
Yeah,
See
I
that?
grew up using that thing.
Cool.
How you like that, dude?
That cylinder fits down in there, and you just keep spinning it, and it goes
Yeah, you
down.
basically kind of self-explanatory.
Yep.
You fill it up with the grapes, then put this lid on it, and the blocks actually go up on top of it.
Uh-huh.
But then turn it. It's geared down real slow. Just moves not 1 inch every 5 seconds maybe. So one revolution, one thread of that probably takes 10 minutes
Wow.
in low gear. So, but yeah.
Pretty slick, huh?
A lot of grapes.
That's nostalgia right there.
Now, back when we were in dental school, I got pictures of Kevin and those redwood fermenters up there. Remember that, Kevin?
Yep. They were up here up against the building. We were stomping the grapes, me and Jan.
Everybody wants to buy those from me for a hot tub.
Yeah. Yeah. Not for sale. The famous rock you heard about.
Now, Dick's Rock?
Yeah, yeah.
Top one of that stairs on this side.
Oh,
The
this
very
side?
top rock on this
All
side.
right.
It had one time, actually, what happened was it fell off the wall.
And that's where you
kind
would
of
sit?
washed a little bit and it fell off down there. And Dick would always come up and sit on that rock. This day known as Dick's Rock. But let me show you a few pictures of kind of the history of Altus.